What is going on, everyone? Welcome to Party on Broad. Eagles steam rolling into Browns week as they take on the Cleveland Browns this Saturday. We were going to do a quick reaction and breakdown of the last preseason game, but I feel like we have to start off with Landon Dickerson, who gave us all one giant scare these last 24 hours. And man, Ryan, good news because it looks like he's just going to get a trim on that knee, and he's week to week. Kind of up in the air if he hits week one, but he's not going to miss a significant chunk of the regular season. What's going on, Ryan?
Yeah, hey, this is fantastic news, and an injury like this, you certainly would rather this happen early and in preseason rather than mid-season or obviously any later than that. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, listen, it'll be interesting to see how Stoutland wants to have his offensive line in these preseason games when obviously now that starters are going to be probably getting in there a little bit. It'll be interesting to see if like Steen moves to left guard,
There it is.
and then somebody pops in, for right guard. So
That's exactly where my head was at last night when all this was going down. I would put Tyler Steen at left guard and Matt Pryor at right guard. I am not a fan of Kenyon Green. I don't even know if he makes the roster. He probably does at this point. We'll see how this plays out going forward, especially with all the needs at the secondary and the DBs. But man, it's good news. It's good news that he's probably not going to be 100% for a while, but he's a warrior, man. Landon Dickerson, an absolute warrior, and arguably the most well balanced left guard in football. Krabby chimes in. He was okay. And Stout, we trust, right? No, I wasn't. I was not happy. I agree. Like, Jeff Stoutland will probably get someone coached up by like halfway through the season. And we'd probably be fine if, this was a significant injury or a significant scare with Landon Dickerson, but I don't really like the options that much. I actually would have experimented with like Drew Kendall because I thought he showed some things, and I know he can play right guard. But when it comes to the other guys like Trevor Keegan, Miles Hinton, I don't really like the potential there, at least yet. So
yeah, no,
I don't like it.
yeah, no, agreed. I mean, they're so new, they're so raw. Um, I'd feel a little bit better having somebody with a little veteranness to him. So
All right. Let's roll on to the top news of the week. Of course, that's Tanner McKee, who had a great showing, Ryan. Ran a touchdown on the tush push. He made good reads. He was accurate. He moved around. He sensed the pressure, made accurate throws. I liked the ability he showed to make plays on the run. And I thought he looked really good going through his progressions and going through his reads and finding guys. Like the arm talent was always there when it comes to Tanner McKee. He's big in the pocket. He's Joe Flacco esque. But where I wanted to see him grow in 2025 was to go through those progressions, escape some pressure, make plays outside of the pocket, and deliver with that wicked arm strength. And I thought he was awesome. I hate this talk that we're going to trade him in 2025. I wish we could just punt that talk because he is such a huge part of this season. He's going to win us a couple games. But what was your reaction?
well, yeah, obviously the McKee fanboys were you know having the best day of their life. But in all reality and seriousness, it was nice to see another year and another jump for McKee. There was it's clear that he is just continuously getting better. Um, yeah, he was just very sharp. His reads were quick, accurate. His throws were lasers. But when he needed touch, he had touch. And yeah, hey, it was nice to see him do the tush push. So, um, I know a lot of people, um, you know, uh, sometimes are a little worried that McKee isn't exactly like Hurts, and that's kind of been our MO is to have the backup be similar to the starter. But and it's funny that everybody immediately goes, "Well, time to trade him."
Yeah.
Like I get it. Believe me, I get that sentiment. You want to get the value at its highest peak, and every year Tanner McKee goes in the first preseason game, and everybody's losing their minds. Pets' heads are falling off. The whole 9 yards. So
Love the Dumb and Dumber reference. um, yeah, I thought he was awesome. We'll see because that Bengals defense is god awful.
well,
We'll see
true.
how it looks against the Browns. Who do
Not
you
the
want to
one.
talk about next? I'll throw this one to you.
Well, I think the other thing, and it's not necessarily a positive, is cornerback two,
Yeah.
CB2, and neither guy, Ringo nor Dory Jackson, did themselves any favors. They, again, I take it with a little bit of a grain of salt. You are going up against one of the best duos in all of football, but man, they looked lost out there. Dory looked slow. He looked like he just didn't know what the hell he was going on. And again, we kind of know about Ringo's stiffness at times. Again, what are you going to do when Jamar Chase does this little patented move, spin move,
Possible.
and pew. So yeah, I mean, obviously the trade for Bennett
There
kind
it
of
is.
came at the right time, and he's been thrown out there with the ones. So um, we'll see if he takes that job and runs with it because it is wide open. But I still have hope that maybe Ringo will figure something out. I don't know. Maybe
Is it
he'll.
fair to call Bennett as like one of the biggest winners of the Bengals game? He has to be.
Yeah, I mean, you
He
have
didn't
to
play a
include him
snap.
because
Was he even in Philly by the time?
yeah, he was. Um, Yeah, I think he was actually there last Tuesday when I was there, but he had just gotten traded the night before, so he had just gotten in, and he wasn't actually out at practice. He was just in street clothes, just kind of meeting everybody. But um, yeah, so he was there, but man, not obviously couldn't get into the game, just a little too quick. So it'll
Yeah.
be nice to see him get a little action on Saturday. So
Yeah, all eyes on Bennett because, like you said, it is wide open. Krabby says we'll take McKee in his style. If any team can handle a different style quarterback, it's
sure.
this one. Dickerson scared us earlier. He surely did. It
Hmm.
was definitely an uneasy feeling going to bed last night. I didn't know we were going to get an update considering the team was off
Yeah.
today. So it's good to see us get an update and we finally get a decision going forward with the surgery. But yeah, it was not good.
No.
Um, but
Awful.
yeah, Ben is
But
definitely a winner
yeah.
for sure. I don't know what they do. I always had reservations about Ringo, and I took some heat about that just because I don't he doesn't have a lot of versatility. He's an outside corner. Adoree Jackson has experience playing in different spots. And you look at like what they're doing with DeJean, and you look at what they're doing with Makuba. Like
Yeah.
that's been the mo of this defense. Whether that's you could expand that to Zach Bond and Jahad Campbell. Like they
Yeah.
are trying to become a positionless defense, and Ringo just doesn't really fit. He's an elite athlete. He's so young. He's only
Yeah.
what 22, and he's got worlds of upside and potential. But right now, man, he, like I said before the season started, he's gonna get thrown into the fire, and it literally was Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
And
What a fire.
I mean, we heard it all during camp with AJ Brown, and and
Well,
then all we hear is Quinyon Mitchell locking his ass up. So Keely Ringo's got a long way to go. Dory Jackson, not a great answer. Hopefully Bennett can give you some sort of balance and
hopefully.
consistency because it's truly anyone's game right now.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely wide open, and um, I think when you look around the league, and the fact of the matter is, we have probably two concerns, if we're being honest, on the defense. And obviously we worry a little bit about guard now that Dickerson scared the crap out of us, and Steen is finally taking his place at the table. But that's pretty good for teams around the league that you're really only kind of concerned about three spots, where most teams they have UFL players playing in a couple of spots. So
It sucks too because I thought Tyler Steen was one of the biggest winners of the Bengals game. He only played one possession and he looked really good at
he
right
did.
guard. He had a solid seal block on that Shipley 38-yard run.
Yeah, yeah,
If you watch the highlights, like he was a big component of that. And now, just a few days later, we're talking about him going back to left guard.
yeah.
Oh man, it's just it never ends. But let's talk about Darius Cooper, who I
Sure.
thought was fantastic. I mean, among the latest wide receivers in Eagles preseason history, where we're going to be maybe overreacting. I don't know. I'll get your sense a little bit, but I was really impressed. He's clearly got quick feet. He's got a great release. He was just crushing it in terms of creating separation. He looked like a veteran receiver, not some small, undrafted free agent from a small school. He ran really good routes. It's not about the 6 catches and the 82 yards and the touchdown. It's how he got there, and he looks like a bona fide number 4 going forward. And having a replacement for Jahan Dotson down the line is really fun. Does he make does he make it to the practice squad?
Wait, who?
I mean, if he doesn't make the 53-man roster,
Oh,
can they keep 6 wide receivers, and
well,
B, can they afford to risk him getting to the practice squad? Because like
yeah,
someone's
I
gonna
think
pick him up. He's a
yeah,
steal.
yeah, I think this ultimately is going to come down to a numbers game, and who they feel comfortable with, and if they somehow feel comfortable, you know more so that they could slip him onto the practice squad, that might be a negative for him making the 53, or vice versa. If they truly think, hey, listen, I don't think there's a shot in hell this guy doesn't get scooped up, that might be the determining factor whether or not he's number 53 or number 54. You know what I mean? So
It's crazy.
yeah, it's ultimately going to come down, after Dotson. Do they keep two? Do they keep three more after that?
I mean,
That's
Watson's making
going to be the ultimate question of whether or not Cooper. And listen, I'll also pump the brakes a little bit. He looked amazing in practice. He stood out, for sure. Same with Elijah Cooks, who got hurt way early in the game. Um, and Cooper had a great game and he showed out. But let's be honest, we seem to always fall in love with a practice squad, training camp, wide receiver hero that ultimately does nothing and breaks our heart. The only one that lasted a little bit longer was Travis Fulgham, who had just decided for 6 games to go on a tear and then never be heard from again.
right.
So I caution, but I am rooting for the kid and hopeful.
I mean, Johnny Wilson's going to make. Well, Jahan Dotson's making the team. Johnny Wilson's making the team. I don't think there's any question there. That's four. The question starts with Anaya Smith, who's your
Yep.
returner, and I
Yep.
think they're going to want. He looked good
He did.
in the one return there against the Bengals, so I think he makes this team. So the question is, does
Terrace Marshall or
uh,
Cooper?
I think right
With
now it's Cooper.
Oh, I mean, only because Marshall's a little banged up.
Yeah,
Because Marshall all training camp has been balling.
yeah,
So
it's been good. It's a good problem to have. I mean, I remember just a year ago we were having this discussion about not having any wide receivers to develop. So
yeah,
he could be one of those guys. Crabby
Hopefully.
times.
Yeah, hopefully.
Are there plays in the book for 5 wide receivers other than Hail Marys? That would be fun. Love it. I
Yeah.
am tired of the all vertical routes, Krabby. No more vertical routes, especially like ridiculous situations. We
Yeah.
saw way too much of that during the first like quarter of the season last year. It was nauseating. Let's go to Gabe Hall and Ty Robinson, who I thought had another really really good showing, similar to developing wide receivers for the Birds. There was legitimate concern about the depth on defensive line, and with the trade with Thomas Booker, who I was a big fan of, good dude,
Sure. Yeah.
and I really like Thomas Booker in that rotation. It's very clear Gabe Hall's making this roster, and Ty Robinson's better than we think he is. Those two looked really good. They're big. They're athletic. They're good. Ty Robinson, I thought, stood out against the run. He also got a sack.
Yeah.
Just two big guys that are really going to rotate with Davis and Carter and
Jomo.
Ojomo, and really make this a formidable interior pass rush. Any thoughts on Gabe Hall and Ty Robinson?
Yeah, it honestly it not that again I had reservations about trading Thomas Booker like you. I was a fan. He always seemed like a really nice guy, but obviously the need was more at corner, and this only proves that Howie was right to do that. Considering you have five dudes right now that are playing, really well. Obviously, Carter and Jordan Davis, your starters. Ajomo, the up and coming new Milton Williams, if you will, and now you have Gabe Hall, who's a little bit smaller than I had imagined, but plays humongous. And then the rook and Ty Robinson, who again, as you said earlier in the program, versatile, can play all over the line if needed. So the fact of the matter is, D tackle's pretty much figured out.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
locked in.
yeah, I don't even know if we have anybody else as a D tackle on the roster right now, but if they are, they might want to maybe not make permanent plans here.
Yeah, really good story, Gabe Hall. I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
curious, like he's arguably the biggest winner right there with Darius Cooper in terms of he Cooper went from not a lot of people
Unknown.
knew about unless you had a media pass and you were at practices like Gabe Hall. And now we're talking about these guys as locks,
Yeah,
which is really impressive. Um, this is what the Eagles do, man. They're so good at developing these
yeah.
guys, and especially on the defensive line, they're just
I
outstanding
mean, yeah. I mean, think
there.
about it. We just lost this offseason two guys that came in as relative unknowns and developed, got snuck their way in, and then played their way into much bigger roles in Milton Williams and Josh Sweat.
Yep, fantastic. Can't wait for a Jomo too. Um, losers, hate to say losers, guys that need to play
Should
better.
we do a David
David,
call to David of players who didn't do as well?
yeah. Miles Hinton
Yeah,
looked a step slow. Could not handle the speed of the NFL, which was expected. But he reportedly was looking pretty good during camp. So I was excited to see him, especially at tackle, because
yeah.
they're clearly growing him to be the next swing tackle for the Eagles going forward down the road. But did not look ready.
No,
Did not look ready.
no. Obviously, and listen. I think it's important not to overreact to the first preseason game for some of these young players, these rookies. Yeah, sometimes players develop in different ways, and sometimes the speed of the NFL is what gets them, and it takes them a little bit longer to kind of to figure that out. But hopefully, Miles Hinton, learns from this information and this experience, and again, like I said, he has looked decent in practice, and um, yeah, it's you just again hope that. he's that guy that can develop, and if not, again, because it's a numbers game, he'd be an easy target for practice. My God.
Tex says, loser, anyone ahead of McKee on the depth chart? Oh my God. That's so funny.
Damn
Um,
it, damn it, Q.
another player that needs to play better against the Browns this week, Sidney Brown. Sidney Brown and the most Sidney Brown things
The blur.
against the Bengal. Literally in the second quarter, bounced off of Tosh Brooks, the Bengals running back, like a blur, just blew up the play, missed the tackle, and I think he had like really bad form on the tackle and knocked his ass out. That is the most Sidney Brown of the
That
preseason.
is that is so typical Sidney Brown of just
That's
you
what he
don't even
does.
know he's there, and then all of a sudden he just flies by the camera, head down. I swear he just runs with his head down somehow,
Oh, dude,
and he's just like it's almost cartoonish. He just like dives with his head down, and he just is like woo, and just I'm surprised he hasn't gotten hurt like this more often, but
it's what he
uh,
does, and he's just unreliable, and he's
yeah.
just it's
But
the
clearly, he's
the
never
risk
going to
is
be the
not worth
guy.
the reward.
Yeah,
But,
he's clearly never going to be the guy that we all hoped he would develop into.
mhm.
He is what he is. I think he can be very serviceable at times, um, but unfortunately, he's nothing more than a depth piece at this point.
Yeah, I believe Makuba's back at practice, and he's going to be the guy. I don't even think that's a question.
Yeah, no, we just need him to stay healthy because not only obviously for obvious reasons, but for the development. These early practices, these early games, they are paramount in the learning curve for the NFL. And you saw that with Coop. He wasn't out there right away because of some lagging injuries last year, and it didn't take him until week after the bye that we inserted him, and obviously hit the ground running.
All right. Anything else you want to add about the Bengals game before we get into the five pack?
Jamar Chase is very good.
All right. He's
um,
a star, man. He's just so fun to watch.
he's unbelievable. He's one of those guys who's just so fun to watch.
Mhm.
And yeah, God, it would be amazing to have him on our team. But um, yeah, no, I think low expectations were had. Oh God, more of you.
He's not wrong. Pump Man is not wrong.
Listen,
Terms legit.
okay. Well, and can you at least come to bat for me and
What?
say that I have been at least singing praises this last week and this week?
You have. That's fair.
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
fair.
listen, I'll admit it. He's looked great, and you can see the development over the years that each year he has looked considerably better. Um, again, he's a backup for a reason.
He's better than Kenny Pickett.
Listen, I'm not sure why. I'm not sure
Say
why
it.
you need to
Say
pick
it.
a man who
Say
isn't
it.
even here.
So biased. The Jamar Chase sideline catch was a huge push off. I don't remember. I don't even remember. Bread Eclipse. What's going on, Bread Eclipse? All right. Let's get into Eagles five pack. I wish Rob was here for this because these are my favorite part of the show.
Yeah.
Ryan, rank these Eagles regular season bets that are most likely to happen without knowing the next one. Ready?
All right. I am going to put $5 on each one of these. Let's go.
The Eagles win 13 or more regular season games.
Oh, jeez.
All I know is McKee is a Super Bowl champion. Absolutely.
That is true. That
So is
is
Pickett.
true. Yeah, that is also true. Kenny Pickett was the
He
winning
was out
quarterback
there,
on
right?
the field. Yeah. Man, that's tough. I'm gonna say 4
Landon
because
Dickerson news was the most relieving. Oh man, we were so
yeah,
good.
since the
It was so great.
retired John Meyer.
All
Yeah,
right,
I'll go
number
with 4.
four.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a tough schedule. Um, yeah, let's. I think when I originally went over the schedule on Football Smack Talk show, um, and I think I maybe had 12. That's usually my most like I don't give it an F, and just kind of like win.
Of course, Pumpman says we forgot to talk about Project 89. I believe that's Johnny
We
Wilson.
mentioned him.
I mean,
You were
what
just
gives
light.
me a little hesitation is the fact that pretty much, I mean, we're not there at the practices. You went to one, but
Yeah,
like nobody saw this coming. Like Johnny Wilson was dead ass silent
yeah,
throughout training camp and then balled out and made two really solid contested catches against the Bengals. He's the one guy that I'm just like, I think he's a great run blocker. I think he's an underrated run blocker with what the Eagles want to do with Saquon and this offensive line. But that being said, I'm definitely pumping the brakes um, for that one. Pun
yeah,
intended.
yeah. Agreed.
Yep.
Move him to tight end.
Yep. Uh, um, we have Jarek saying Nick Foles is Super Bowl MVP, which is
Hell
still
yeah, he is.
fantastic. I didn't know Pumpman was a Johnny West guy. There we go. That's
Oh
cool.
yeah, oh yeah, yeah. He 100% is.
All right, Eagles win 13 or more regular season games. Number 4,
Yep.
3 or more interceptions for Quinyon Mitchell in 2025.
Oh man, that's tough.
Because who's throwing to Quinyon when you got Keely Ringo and Adoree Jackson
Well,
on the other side?
there is that, but hey, maybe Bennett might make him think otherwise.
What are you gonna say? Oh, are you saying Bennett's your starter?
I mean, maybe. I mean, like I said, the door is it's not cracked open. It is flat out wide open. Um, you know what? I'm gonna say one on this.
One
Yeah,
for Quinyon. Love it.
yeah. That's what I mean. Think about how many times last year
He
he
had
was like,
drops, yeah.
right there, or Chauncey Gardner knocked into him, or something stupid, like what I mean. Like he absolutely would have had 3 interceptions last year, without a doubt. You know what I mean? So it ebbs and flows. He'll probably get 6.
Well, what game was that when CJGJ stole that interception from Q?
Right?
I remember literally screaming at the TV.
I know. Same. I was just like, what are you doing, bro?
All right. Some comments here.
Johnny
Uh,
Megatron.
Wilson was flat out bad. He's always had talent, but shocked he put it together after being booty cheeks. Johnny Wilson against the Bengals made me forget Megatron retired.
Jesus God.
Johnny Megatron. Oh my God. Okay, let's move on.
Yeah, that is true. Pump Man has been a J Dub fan since the day
Cool.
we got him.
Uh, Dodge, you got to admit the chat is in game shape. I love it. Keep it rolling.
Seriously.
All right. Moro Jomo leads the defensive tackle group in sacks this season.
5.
What? Okay.
Not happening.
I think.
Jalen
How many
Carter.
did Milton Williams have?
Jalen Carter, destroyer of worlds.
And then, all right. So we've got 1, 4, and 5. Correct.
1, 4, and 5. Yeah.
Saquon Barkley eclipses 2,000 yards again.
3.
And then you got 2 left.
Yeah. I just listen. Do I think it can happen? Absolutely. Has any running back ever gotten 2,000 yards twice? No, but I just think they're going to be passing more, and they're not going to rely on the running game. And it just like anything from year to year. My God, the size of these freaking chats.
It's a really good point.
Yeah.
Nolan Smith, was somewhat counted out and then really finished last year really strong.
Yeah, no doubt. No, I just
Totally
think
different player. Nolan Smith for like late first round.
yeah,
pick.
agreed. I just think year to year defenses kind of have the offseason to kind of game plan against you. And Saquon with this offensive line, I just think it's going to be a little bit harder, even if he has the same opportunities.
Carter's better than Ajomo, but Ajomo ain't going to see a single uh, double team. That's exactly why where
Yeah,
I was
well,
going with that.
Jalen
Not
Carter
going to be
on a
held
double
every play.
team. Jalen Carter on a double team versus Moro Jomo on a single. I'm still taking Jalen Carter.
Okay, that's fair. He's dominant. I doubt Jalen Carter is the sack leader when they're going to triple team him all year.
I
That's
mean, well,
exactly where my brain was at, Brett Eclipse.
well, listen. Hey, we'll pop this clip out, and when it happens, I'll just
You ready for your number two? No.
yeah, two's
Yeah, this
left.
is your two.
Yeah.
3.5 starts for Keely Ringo.
Oh yeah.
So over.
I'm fine with that. I think that's very likely to happen.
Okay.
Um, just because again, it's such a cluster. It could be any three of them, and injuries here and there. They're deep enough that again, he even if he wasn't the first guy out, he'd probably be the next one up. So
Yep. I agree, Pop Man. Ojomo is going to be the breakout star of 2025. Last one, Ryan, before we wrap it up and head on to our next show. Another one. Rank these Eagles regular season bets that are most likely to happen without knowing the next one. 10 or more sacks for Nolan Smith.
Whew. That's so man. Um, I'll say two. I think that's possible.
All right. The Eagles will have one or more punts returned for a touchdown.
5.
It never happens.
It just never happens. Sorry.
I like it.
I have been watching Eagles football for long enough to know that punt return touchdowns are a rarity. I mean,
Yeah.
let's be honest. I know right now everybody out here can think of at least 2 or 3 that they remember, but that's probably only because there's been like 10 in our lifetime, and those 3 were just big time.
All right. A.J. Brown eclipses 1,200 yards receiving.
What did I put Nolan Smith to?
Yeah.
1.
You have 2, 5, and 1. What? You won?
Yeah.
Nice.
1,200? Yeah, absolutely. A.J. Brown season, baby. They're
Uh,
going to be throwing the ball more. And, yeah, now I don't know if he gets 16 just because there's a lot of mouths to feed, but 1,200, he should be all right.
Yep. Brett Eclipse thinks he hit 1,600s. Pump Man says Morrow was the most.
He sure was, but
in the playoffs. He was so good. They were all good.
yeah,
Don't get me wrong.
I like the next comment, though.
Jordan Davis was also a really good pass rusher in the playoffs. Can Morrow finish? Absolutely. He's actually I think he's a sneaky good pass rusher, man. His swim move's so good. Have we seen a punt return touchdown since pros? I don't know.
I don't think we have.
I don't know.
And if we did, it was so just who cares? You know what I mean? It was probably when nobody really cared about it.
What's going on, Pat? Thanks for joining, man.
Patty.
All right. Where are we at? 1, 2.
1, 2, and 5.
All right. 3 or more sacks from Jahad Campbell.
So what do I have?
Zach Bond had 3.5 last year.
Yeah. So what do I have?
3.
3 and 4.
Yeah, 3 or more.
I'll put
You
that.
have 3 or 4 left.
I'll put that 3. Come on now.
Okay.
I'm always going to lean linebacker, baby.
Now you said 3.
Yeah.
Jahan Dotson will have more receptions than Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, 4. I'm okay with that.
Saquon had 33 receptions last year. Dotson had 19.
Yeah, I think Saquon's numbers go up. So obviously does Dotson.
Yeah.
And I think ultimately health of AJ and Smitty will determine whether or not Dotson can eclipse Barkley. But I think if all things are even, I think Barkley still gets that.
All right. That wraps up Party on Broad for this evening. Ryan, final thoughts on the Bengals? Thoughts on the Browns game? Time's yours.
Well, listen, I'm a little disappointed that Rob couldn't be joining us because I was fully expecting, like a food-related question um, for my 5 pack. I'm not gonna lie. Um, so I'll blame that all on Rob. But yeah, Bengals game, was what it was. Always fun to get a win in preseason, right? Browns game should be fun. It's the annual preseason game that I take my son to.
Nice.
His birthday's in a week, so it's always right around the birthday, so it's really nice. You can experience it and not have to deal with the full craziness of a game. So
Man,
yeah, it must be. No, it's probably
tonight.
yeah, it's probably pizza night. Freaking
And
sicko.
your son gets to go to an Eagles game and play Donkey Kong.
What are you doing? No, I'm kidding. He's
Oh
engulfed
my god,
in.
I just had a panic.
No, okay. He's not that close. He's engulfed in SpongeBob or whatever crap he's watching.
Brett Eclipse says, I'm heavily interested in seeing how the first team competitors on defense do against someone not named Joe Burrow.
Yeah, yeah. Well, what about Joe Flacco?
All right, guys. Thank you everyone for watching. Fun fact, we are going live immediately after this to talk some college football. We're doing a Heisman draft. We're going to pick our 5 favorite Heisman. I don't know Ryan's list. He doesn't know mine. And we're going to keep track of it all season long. And then we're also going to talk about our top 5 Eagles draft targets to know heading into college football season. So, guys, hang with us. We'll see you on the other side. He is Ryan Reese at Philly Sports PSA. I'm Dives, Mr. Crockpot. Stay awesome.